It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak and esteem to all. If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led like sheep to the slaughter. Happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace. Associate yourself with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for 'tis better to be alone than in bad company. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. Observe good faith and justice toward all nations, cultivate peace and harmony with all. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. The basis of our political system is the right of the people to make and to alter their constitutions of government. There is nothing so likely to produce peace as to be well prepared to meet the enemy. Perseverance and spirit have done wonders in all ages. A free people ought not only to be armed, but disciplined, to which end a uniform and well-digested plan is requisite. Truth will ultimately prevail where there are pains to bring it to light. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. My first wish is to see this plague of mankind, war, banished from the earth. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors and for the purpose of profiting by dear-bought experience. To err is natural, to rectify error is glory. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. It is impossible to rightly govern a nation without God and the Bible. Liberty, when it begins to take root, is a plant of rapid growth. Real men despise battle, but will never run from it. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. Let your heart feel for the afflictions and distress of every one, and let your hand give in proportion to your purse. The Constitution is the guide which I never will abandon. To be prepared for war is one of the most effectual means of preserving peace. The preservation of the sacred fire of liberty and the destiny of the Republican model of government are justly considered, perhaps as deeply as finally staked on the experiment entrusted to the hands of the American people. It is substantially true that virtue or morality is a necessary spring of popular government. 99% of failures come from people who make excuses. To contract new debts is not the way to pay old ones. A sensible woman can never be happy with a fool. Worrying is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. We must consult our means rather than our wishes. Where are our men of abilities? Why do they not come forth to save their country? Every post is honorable in which a man can serve his country. The propitious smiles of heaven can never be expected on a nation that disregards the eternal rules of order and right which heaven itself has ordained. The great rule of conduct for us in regard to foreign nations is, in extending our commercial relations, to have with them as little political connection as possible. There is but one straight course, and that is to seek truth and pursue it steadily. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. Arbitrary power is most easily established on the ruins of liberty abused to licentiousness. The time is near at hand which must determine whether Americans are to be free men or slaves. The marvel of all history is the patience with which men and women submit to burdens unnecessarily laid upon them by their governments. We should never despair. Our situation has been uncommonly critical, and the means of salvation have been in many instances as unexpectedly as providentially derived. Decision-making, like coffee, needs a cooling process. There is nothing that gives permanence to political tenets as place and power. No punishment, in my opinion, is too great for the man who can build his greatness upon his country's ruin. I hold the maxim no less applicable to public than to private affairs, that honesty is always the best policy.
Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great content.